Back at the Wheeler Center here after the national anthem. Both teams introduced today. Belmont Abbey trying to get their record to 1-1 on the season, taking on the Tornado of King University. King, as we mentioned earlier in the pregame, coming into today, 2-0, overall on a 2-game winning streak. Belmont Abbey fourth in the conference right now after a close call in their first match. And credit to Emily Powers here in the first couple of years of the existence of this program, which is now an NCAA emerging sport. Belmont Abbey currently standing at fourth in the conference. But they have reached a program high for the total meet score at their last meet versus Limestone. So it's one building block at a time for Coach Powers. 2021 marks the third year of this program, her third year as the head coach. And King in the rankings, number 9 team ranked in the nation. They are number 2 in the conference as of now. Or 2-0, I should say, in the conference. And King as the visitors. They'll be in this first meet, or this first heat, I should say, in this compulsory event. Jaden Nelson, the senior, tumbling down. Judges looking for that clean dismount and the landing. Key here. So now it's the turn for the Crusaders. They will basically duplicate what you just saw from King, but obviously going for the higher score from the judges here seated near side in front of me. And in these compulsory heats, both teams, again, doing the exact same thing as the opposition. First, the acrobatics here. And you'll see a pyramid forthcoming after that, followed by a toss and a tumbling. And each athlete a specific set of skills. We detailed in the pregame, really, you'll specialize as either a foundation, a base player, or a toss or a tumbler. Top or a tumbler, I should say. Emily Powers leading Belmont Abbey in her third season. And acrobatics and tumbling is the 29th sport that Belmont Abbey has sponsored here. Emily Powers was a graduate assistant at West Liberty University from May 2017, and she was a fine acrobatic and tumbler in her own right. 4-year letter winner. And she's a King alumna and MVP as a senior in 2015 and 16. You just saw number 13, Molly Hanley, junior from Florida. She was at the top of the formation. Belmont Abbey finishes the acro portion. So we'll take a quick break right now here, and we'll be back shortly on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Welcome back to the Wheeler Center. The number 9 ranked King. What a challenge for this young Crusader team here, Acrobatics and Tumbling. Thursday night on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Jeffrey Childs with you, Jim Steffen, our producer. Great job by all of our staff today getting the Wheeler Center outfitted with everything we need. Thanks to Mr. Do-It-All himself here in facilities, Aaron Clooney. Always gets the job done. Belmont Abbey trying to get the job done here in the second heat of the compulsory events. We'll see the pyramid shortly. Special thanks to all our sponsors for this broadcast as well. Ortho Carolina and Go Gaston. And great partners with us for years. That's number 8, Abigail Morrison, the freshman from California. Creating this pyramid, obviously 3 layers of athletes. King has been toughest in the first heat, specifically in the quad and the aerial. King registered an 8.3 score in the quad, and we'll see the tumbling near the end of tonight's meet. Also in the open competition, King had a 9.875. One of the many challenges for Coach Emily Powers in this young program is just finding the right athletes for this program, and a lot of them come from cheerleading, gymnastics backgrounds. And it's been a challenge for her for the numbers as well, but this program has steadily grown in her 3 years. 3 years as a sport on campus. Belmont Abbey's turn to exhibit their skills in the pyramid, and you see two synchronous athletes at the top of the pyramid. We'll take another break here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Back to the Wheeler Center here. Both teams have completed the pyramid event. And next we'll move to the third event of the compulsory. It's the toss. You'll see different variations here, but the toss, the object to complete a back tuck salto and then a front flip layout.
Next in the compulsory toss event will be Belmont Abbey.
At the base, number 8, Aspen Terrell, the sophomore from Texas, directing things. Full toss. Lauren Pipes and Molly Hanley are tossed here in this third heat in the compulsory events. Time for another commercial timeout here. We're through 3 of the first 3 events here in the compulsory between King and Belmont Abbey College on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. We're early on here in tonight's meet between number 9 team in the country, the King University Tornado, and your Belmont Abbey College Crusaders. We've completed the acro, the pyramid, and the toss. Now it's time for the tumbling events here to finish out the compulsory heats, which are a predetermined set of skills from both teams.
First up in compulsory tumbling will be King University.
couple of different variations or aspects to that tumbling, and you saw King with a couple of backward flips, and then they came to the other side of the floor and all doing it in unison. Now Belmont Abbey trying to best whatever score the judges give King. And a reminder to you, Crusader fans, to pick up all your gear. Big sale going on right now at the Sideline store for Belmont Abbey here in March. 20% off when you spend $80 or more. If you use the code MARCH21, use that at Sideline store. And you can also sign up for those events by texting BAC to Abbey Athletics HQ. You can text BAC to 64600. You can sign up. You can watch all of our broadcasts, get videos, schedules, order pizza from the Abbey Athletics HQ app and the Sideline score. In that toss event for Belmont Abbey, a 9.0, 8.9, and a 9.25 in the third heat. Here in the first heat, you'll see Lauren Pipes, the freshman, Arena Chaplis, Victoria Bonham, Emily Wooste, and Lauren Carpenter. Belmont Abbey fans into the Wheeler Center tonight, and a round of applause for the Crusaders as they finish the toss.
I'd like to tell you about our next event. It's the Acro event. This marks the beginning of the optional portion of the meet. Each team will compete with skills previously chosen with different possible start values. There will be between 2 and 4 athletes on the floor in each of these 3 heats. Heat 1 has 5 elements. Heat 2 has 6 elements. And Heat 3 has 7 elements. The start value is determined by the difficulty and combination of each skill. In addition, each position must be held for 3 seconds. This event demonstrates power, strength, and balance.
All right, and you hear from our PA announcer, Brooks Ledger, a description of the event. More to tell you about that when we return after this commercial timeout on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And we rejoin you here at the Wheeler Center. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Jeffrey Childs. Acrobatics and tumbling here on Thursday in the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Really appreciate your patronage and your viewership tonight. And we've completed the acro, the pyramid, and the toss here in these compulsory heats.
Before we begin our Acro event, let's check the results from our first event.
And here's Brooks Ledger with the scores.
For compulsory Acro, for King University, 9.0. For Belmont Abbey, 5.95. In the pyramid, for King, 9.25. For Belmont Abbey, 9.35. In the toss, for King, 9.8. For Belmont Abbey, 9.35. Compulsory tumbling for King University, 8.85. For Belmont Abbey, 8.55. King's compulsory total is 36.9. For Belmont Abbey, 33.2. Now it's time to begin the Acro event. The first heat will be the 5-element. Up first with a start value of 10.0, King. Catherine Reynolds, Elizabeth White, and Lindsay Bell.
So we look at the scores from the acro portion. Belmont Abbey with a 9.0, King 9.5. In the pyramid, it was Belmont Abbey getting the better of King 9.35 to 9.25. In the toss, King ahead of that one by a big margin, 9.8 to 9.55. And finally in the tumbling, King scoring an 8.85, Belmont Abbey an 8.55 for a heat total. King 36.9 to 33.2 for Belmont Abbey. Now we move on to the acro portion. This will consist of 3 separate heats. Here in Heat 1, it's a 5 elements meet portion here in this Heat 1. Competing here in Heat 1 for the acro for Belmont Abbey, number 5, Desislava Yordanova is a junior. Anna Davis, freshman, and Eliza George, she's a sophomore. And also the catcher here for Belmont Abbey in Heat 1, it's Aspen Terrell, sophomore. Here we'll have heats 1 with elements 1 through 5, and in this first one you'll see Belmont Abbey try to compete a release to their shoulders with a layout dismount. Then they have to compete a 180-degree twist to the shoulders over to an inverted body position. Takes so much upper body strength to perform something like this. And now the dismount has to be what the judges are looking for. And so Belmont Abbey completes Heat 1 here in the acro event portion. And so each teams will trade turns here as we go back and forth between the heats in the acro event. No changes for Belmont Abbey in Heat 2 with the exception of the third athlete. This time it's Aspen Terrell, the sophomore, and coming in to catch is the freshman, Sydney Singh. Now we'll see what Belmont Abbey does here in this second element. Again, no changes here in this heat. Desislava Jordanova, the junior, wears number 5. Anna Davis, the freshman, and Aspen Terrell. There is a change there. The third athlete for Belmont Abbey, the sophomore. Sydney Singh, she's the freshman. She'll be catching here. And the object of this second heat here in the acro, you must compete a release to the shoulders with a full off dismount. Then, as we saw from King, completing a straddle popover to an inverted body position. So Belmont Abbey today here in this second element, the second heat of the acro. They started a score of 9.0, and then you either increase or decrease depending on what the judge allows, what the judge gives. Aspen Terrell, great vocal leader there for Belmont Abbey in the second heat here in the acro. Time. And we'll take it right here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And now we move on to heat number 3. It's the final heat here in the acro competition. King will start out with a perfect 10 here in heat number 3 in the acro. You'll see Jaden Nelson, Claire Guittard, and Moira Lyons, the senior. Aspen Terrell's been a great vocal leader for Belmont Abbey tonight, the sophomore, and we've seen the young freshman Sydney Singh have to catch on that second heat. Two players usually at the foundation or the base of the acro. Now it's Belmont Abbey's turn to participate in this third heat in the acro event. You'll see two competing releases to the shoulders, two layout dismounts. Then Belmont Abbey will try to complete a straddle popover to an inverted body position here in heat 3 in the acro. They'll start out with a perfect 10 score as well. Molly Hanley, Allison Hartman, Madeline Martin, and Blythe Terrell participating here in the third heat. Molly Hanley's been one to watch so far for Belmont Abbey, excuse me, in the acro here in this third heat as your player at the base, your foundational. A lot of vocal leadership as well from the junior Molly Hanley from Spring Hill, Florida. Acrobatics and tumbling, as we said, an NCAA emerging sport for women, and they're also looking at equestrian for divisions 1 and 2, rugby, triathlon, and women's wrestling. So acrobatics and tumbling at the forefront of sports for women here at the NCAA level.
Next to the start time of 9.95, Belmont Abbey. Molly Hanley, Allison Hartman, Melanie Martin, and Blythe Terrell.
So Belmont Abbey starts here in Heat 3 of the acro with a 9.95 starting value. Hanley must complete that 2 release to the shoulders with 2 layout dismounts. Now they will set her up for a straddle popover to an inverted body position. Extremely tough to do, and there's the dismount. A lot of hours in the weight room to perform something like that. We'll see what the judges give Belmont Abbey as a score. We'll take a timeout here on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Wheeler Center on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. Acrobatics and tumbling action on a Thursday night as we await the judges' scores. As we've completed the first part of tonight's meet between the first 3 heats of the acro portion.
Belmont Abbey, 9.1. In the second heat, for King University, 9.55. For Belmont Abbey, 8.55. In the third heat, for King University, 8.6. For Belmont Abbey, 9.65. King University's acro total, 27.65. Belmont Abbey's acro total, 27.30. The combined score so far for King University, 64.55. And for Belmont Abbey, 60.5.
So thanks to our public address announcer, Brooks Ledger, for those scores. King winning the first heat in the acro, 9.5 to 9.1. They also took the second heat, 9.55 to a full point, 8.55 over Belmont Abbey. And then Belmont Abbey, though, came back in that third heat in the acro. The release to the shoulders with the dismounts and the popover, that went to Belmont Abbey, 9.65 to 8.6. And now we move on to the pyramid here before halftime of Thursday night acrobatics and tumbling on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. King with a slight edge so far through the compulsory and the acro, 64.55 to 60.55 to Belmont Abbey. There will be 3 heats in the pyramid, just as in the acro. King starts in the pyramid with a 9.90. Belmont Abbey will start with a 9.0. Now it's Belmont Abbey's turn here in the pyramid. Emily Powers leading this program where she wants it to be at the top of Conference Carolinas, but as a player, helped King qualify for the NCATA National Championship, including setting numerous program records. Coach Powers received the NCATA's Lewis Goodrum Academic Achievement Award for the highest GPA as a player, student-athlete. In this first heat in the pyramid, Belmont Abbey must compete an inverted handstand with a 180-degree twist. Crusaders all smiles there, coming off of the dismount and the twist. The freshman from Andover, Missouri, Sydney Singh. Now we'll move on shortly to the second heat of the pyramid. King starts with a starting value of a perfect 10 at 10.0. Same for Belmont Abbey here in heat 2 of the pyramid. And this one will more ask for a synchronization from both teams. In the second heat, you must complete a shoulder to extension press with a 180-degree twist to a cradle dismount.
Now it's time for the pyramid heat 2, the synchronized pyramid. Up first with a start value of 10.0, King University.
Hence the name, the synchronization. Both sides will try to finish off that shoulder to extension press and then the 180-degree twist to finish off with a cradle dismount. For Belmont Abbey here, Heat 2 in the pyramid, you'll see Jessica Warman, Lauren Pipes, Anna Davis, Desislava Yordanova, Madeline Martin, Kristen Ferry, Blythe Terrell, Emily Woosty, Victoria Bonham, Eliza George, Faith McKaylee, Deanna Willard, Sydney Singh, great freshman, completed that dismount earlier, Alyssa Davidson, Molly Hanley, Ellison Hartman, Aspen Terrell, Arena Chaplis, Lauren Carpenter, and Jessica Jansen.
Next with a start value of 10.0, Belmont Abbey.
Here at the very tippy top of the pyramid for Belmont Abbey. Jessica Warman, the junior from Anaheim, on the left, and the freshman from Leicester, North Carolina, Lauren Pipes, on the right. Now we move on to the third heat here in the pyramid. Just like the last one, King will start with a starting value of 10.0. Belmont Abbey will get the exact same 10.0, the starting value for the Crusaders.
It's now time for the pyramid heat 3, the open pyramid. Up first with a start value of 10.0, King.
And I want to give a special shout out as well to the Belmont Abbey men's and women's basketball teams, both the Conference Carolinas tournament champions. The women left yesterday morning, and I was able to give the men a nice send-off this morning as them and Coach Vicky both traveling to Tennessee for their opening round game that'll happen on Sunday. Both teams number 1 seeds, and what a joy it's been to call both of those postseason runs right here inside the Wheeler Center. And we wish the Crusaders, both the men and the women basketball teams, wish them well and great success in a continued run in the NCAA tournament. And it's time for heat number 3 here in the Pyramid. It's the open-facing Pyramid event. Belmont Abbey must complete a shoulder-to-extension press, but this time with a front flip off dismount. Lauren Pipes, Anna Davis, Desislava Yordanova, Jessica Warman, Deanna Woolard, Kristen Ferry, Allison Hartman, Alyssa Davidson, and Eliza George make up this pyramid.
Before we move to halftime, getting our pyramid scores, there is an adjustment in the Acro Heat 3 for Belmont Abbey. New score for Belmont Abbey's Acro Heat 3 is 9.35, adjusting their total Acro score to 27.0 and their running total to 60.20.
An adjustment for the scores for the judges for Belmont Abbey in the third heat of the acro portion. Scores drop down. And now the running total, well, before these scores are announced, for King 64.55 and Belmont Abbey 60.20.
Scores from the Pyramid Heat 1. For King, 99.6. 9.6 for King University Pyramid Heat 1. For Belmont Abbey, 9.45. Pyramid Heat 2 for King, 9.4. For Belmont Abbey, 9.7. Pyramid Heat 3 for King University, 8.8. For Belmont Abbey, 9.9. King University's pyramid total, 27.8. For Belmont Abbey, 29.05. Your meet total for King University is 92.35. And for Belmont Abbey, 89.25. Now that'll bring us to halftime here inside the Wheeler Center.
And we're at halftime. We'll tell you more about what those scores mean after this first time out here at Go Gaston at the half on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And we look back at the acrobatic portion of the first, second, and third heat. In Heat 1, King 9.5, Belmont Abbey 9.1. In Heat 2, King 9.55, Belmont Abbey 8.55. And in Heat 3 in the acro, Belmont Abbey with a bigger margin over King there, 9.65 to 8.6. And then we move on to the scoring for the pyramid portion, and it was Belmont Abbey's best event of the night so far, assuredly. In Heat number 1, King 9.6, Belmont Abbey 9.45. And in Heat 2, Belmont Abbey with a bigger margin there, 9.7, 9.4. And Belmont Abbey really started to get the judges' attention there in Heat 2, the synchronization heat of the pyramid event. And we preview what's coming up next. Both teams will compete first in 3 different heats in the toss event. You'll have to complete a back tuck salto, a front flip layout, and a front full. And then 6 heats will comprise the tumbling portion. You'll complete a whip through to a full, 1.5 twist, a full, a front tuck through to a full, a whip through to 1.5. Got the double whip there. And then a 1.5 in the Heat 5 and 6 element. And then we'll have the team events with all teams having 22 ladies out participating on the floor.
The teammate tossed in the air, known as the top, will execute a flip or twist before being caught. There are 3 heats in this event. The synchronized toss features 2 toss groups. These groups should look exactly alike and be in sync. The start value of the toss depends on the skills that the top executes in the air. Officials will be looking for height, the top's body position, and tight catches by the bases. The first heat will be the 450 salto toss. Up first with a start value of 9.4.
So King gets us going with a start value of 9.4. Elizabeth White, Catherine Reynolds, Moira Lyons, Brianna Yorks, Danielle Adesagaraga, and Camiel Oliver. And now it's Belmont Abbey's turn here in Heat number 1 in the toss. You'll see Lauren Pipes, Arena Chaplis, Victoria Bonham, and Emily Woosty, all freshmen, and flanked by the sophomore Lauren Carpenter. In Heat number 1, this is the 450 salto. Belmont Abbey must complete a back tuck salto, and the judges will be watching for the foundation, the structure, the toss, and the catch. Lauren Pipes from the top. King will start the second heat of the toss with a starting value of 9.4. And you will see in the synchronization Elizabeth White, Catherine Reynolds, Moira Lyons, Brianna Yorks, and Danielle Acetigaraga, the senior.
Heat 2 of this event is the synchronized toss. Up first with a start value of 9.4. King.
Belmont Abbey's turn here in heat number 2 in the toss. It's an 8.90 starting value. Synchronization, as you just saw from King, requires a front flip layout. And then you have to nail the landing here. That's the challenge for the Abbey. Featuring in the synchronization of the toss for Belmont Abbey, Desislava Yordanova, Anna Davis, Aspen Terrell, Eliza George, and Faith McKaylee. On the second for the toss, Lauren Pipes, Emily Woosty, Victoria Bonham, Arena Chaplis, Lauren Carpenter, and Madeline Martin. Lauren Pipes at the top on your left. Desislava Yordanova on the right.
The final heat of this event will be the open toss heat. Up first with a start value of 9.1, King.
King will start with a value here in heat number 3 of the toss with a 9.1. Lindsay Bowles, Carolyn Verslewis, Claire Guittard, Erilyn Lee Fritz, Jaden Nelson, and Cameo Oliver comprise this third heat for King. It's Belmont Abbey's turn here in heat number 3 in the toss with a starting value of 9.25. Desislava Yordanova, Anna Davis, Aspen Terrell, Eliza George, and Faith McKaylee, the freshman, reprised their roles from earlier in heats 2 and a couple from heat 1.
Next with a start value of 9.25, Belmont Abbey.
This requires completing a front full off the finish. Nicely done by the Abbey. So Claire Gittard and Alexis Wynn will start the first heat of the tumbling. And the second heat here in the tumbling portion, it's the trio for King, Catherine Reynolds, Brianna Yorks, and Elizabeth White. We'll take a timeout here, and we'll come back with the trio for King on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
Belmont Abbey. Jesse Gordon-Owen and Emma Davis.
And good synchronicity there on the duo portion of the tumbling from Desislava Yordanova and Anna Davis. Now coming up for King, we'll see the trio between Catherine Reynolds, Brianna Yorks, and Elizabeth White. Kicking them out over there, huh? And now we'll see the Belmont Abbey trio with a starting value of 9.10. Molly Hanley, Arena Chapless, and Aspen Terrell. The Belmont Abbey triumvirate. The trio, they are tasked with completing a 1.5 turn here. in synchronicity.
Next to the start value of 9.1, Belmont Abbey. Number 13, Holly Hadley. 26, Irene Chappell. And number 8, Aspen Terrell.
How about the landing time there from the Belmont Abbey trifecta? And now we turn your attention to our graphic as we give you an updated score to look at the toss. Now we move on to the quad. It's number 4 here in the tumbling. King will start out with an 8.50. You'll see Carissa Norville, Jaden Nelson, Moira Lyons, and Hannah O'Day.
Congratulations to our judge working our first ever acro tumbling. Yeah. The judges are good.
Take a time out here as we wait for King and Belmont Abbey to compete in the quad heat portion of the toss on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. And as the judges tally up the scores, we shall see Belmont Abbey compete in the quad. And the object here for Belmont Abbey to complete full spins on these maneuvers.
The final heat of the synchronized passes will be the quad pass. Up first with a start value of 8.5, King. Number 10, Carissa Norvell. Number 2, Jaden Nelson. Number 14, Oriole Lyons. Number 6, Anna O'Day.
So in the quad here for King, you see Carissa Norvell, Jaden Nelson, Moira Lyons, and Hannah O'Day. Now it's Belmont Abbey here in the quad of their own here in the tumbling. Starting value of 8.5. Representing Belmont Abbey, Sydney Singh, Emily Woosty, Blythe Terrell, and Faith McKaylee.
Number 20, Sydney Singh. Number 14, Emily Woods. Number 17, Blythe Terrell. Number 9, Faith McKaylee.
Now it's time for the aerial here, which will feature just one athlete for King, Claire Guittard, the junior. Starting value for King, 8.90.
We now have the single athlete passes. First will be the aerial pass. Up first with a start value of 9.4. King, number 19, Claire Guittard.
And now for Belmont Abbey, 8.90 is the starting value. And what a moment for the freshman, Victoria Bonham, here in the aerial. He'll have to complete a front tuck through to a full. Maybe not as much pressure without some limited fans in attendance. But these have to be nerve-wracking for freshmen.
Next, the sword value 8.9. Belmont Abbey, number 28, Victoria Bonham.
Now it's the fifth event of tumbling, 6E. Starting value for King here, 9.50. And you will see the talents of the freshman, Alexis Wynn, number 17.
The fifth heat in the tumbling event is the sixth element pass. Up first with a start value of 9.5. King, number 17, Alexis Wynn.
And now it's Belmont Abbey's turn in this exciting fifth event of the heat in tumbling, the sixth element. They'll start out with a starting value of 9.80. And it's the junior, Desislava Yordanova. She must complete a whip through to a 1.5. I love saying that, whip. Good luck to her here. Desislava, the sophomore from Williamsburg, Virginia, and competed at the New Horizon Governor's School for Science and Technology. Veseslava, great velocity and the centrifugal force onto those whips to the 1.5. Take a time out here. We're into the tumbling portion and move on to heat number 6 after this on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network. So King with the open pass. It's the final heat here of the tumbling events. King with a starting value of 10, and it's the junior, Catherine Reynolds. For Belmont Abbey, they start with a starting value of 9.10, and they'll have a freshman here in the open pass, Arena Chaplis. The job here is to complete a 1.5 full turn.
Next to the start value, 9.1. Belmont Abbey, number 26, Chapels.
Timeout on the floor before we begin our final event of this evening's meet. It's the team event, and we'll have that after this on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.
The tumbling heat number 1 for King, 9.0. For Belmont Abbey, 8.8. In the second heat, for King, 8.5. For Belmont Abbey, 8.25. In the third heat, for King, 8.05. For Belmont Abbey, 7.55. In the fourth tumbling heat, for King, 9.025. For Belmont Abbey, 8.65. In the fifth heat, for King, 9.275. For Belmont Abbey, 8.65. In the sixth heat, for King, 9.9. For Belmont Abbey, 8.875. King University's tumbling total, 53.75. Belmont Abbey's total, 50.775. Your beat total for King, 172.25. For Belmont Abbey, 165.675.
So we'll look at the scores from all 6 heats in the tumbling portion. In Heat 1, it was King with a 9, Belmont Abbey 8.8. Heat 2, King 8.5, Belmont Abbey 8.25. In the third heat, 8.05 for King, 7.55 for Belmont Abbey. In the in the fourth heat, King 9.02, Belmont Abbey 8.65. In the fifth heat, King 9.275, Belmont Abbey 8.65. And in the sixth heat, 9.9 for King, 8.875 for Belmont Abbey.
It encompasses everything you just watched in the first 5 events. The team event features up to 24 athletes on the floor at one time, performing skills in acro, toss, pyramid, and tumbling in the routine set to music. Key items for officials to evaluate include synchronization of skills, stability of structures, body position, and technique of the tumbling. This is a very fast-paced event, so be sure to keep your eyes on the mat. with a 101.49 start value. Please welcome to the floor, the King Tornado.
This is when you really, like, don't worry about it going in the middle because it's so low. Yeah.
Belmont Abbey's turn to compete in the final team event between skills in acro, pyramid toss, the tum run, tum stand, and a dance.
Learn more about acrobatics and tumbling, the fastest growing collegiate sport for women, by visiting the NCATA.org. You'll find the 2021 meet schedule, results, information about NCATA members, and links to NCATA social media, as well as information about becoming a coach, student athlete, or official in this exciting sport. Visit the NCATA.org today. With a 99.16 start value, please welcome the Belmont Abbey Crusaders.
break real quick, and we'll come back with the scores.
We'll take a break after that. What a performance by the Crusaders. Time for a timeout on the Belmont Abbey Sports Network.